will never forget their first kiss, their first drive in the car, their first something I can't say on YouTube. But most of all, we can't forget our first memories of the things that matter to most. And for me, and I imagine a lot of you guys, it's video games. So today on the Friday Night Frenzy, me and the Frenzy crew are going to be talking about our video game memories, sharing some talents. But I just wanted to thank you guys all. Like this is something like it really means a lot to me. Let's just bring in the DK crew, shall we?
And I have my mind, and a mind needs books like a sword needs a whetstone.
Hey!
How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Friday, woohoo!
Yep. It's Friday. So okay. Next up, we got probably the second most important member of the DK crew,
Master Chief. You mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
Hey, it's me.
Prove it.
You're a dick.
Okay.
God damn it, Nick! My God! You had me on the Master Chief, and then you're like, no!
Hey, Keely, how you doing? Hey. And then movie theater, though they're not my kids, that clip is probably older than some of the people who are watching the stream. So all right, we got the last member of the DK crew. Yeah.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
How is everybody doing today?
Hey, it's great. It's been con weekend, so I've been down over at the Gaylord Hotel in Denver, and boy, there's a lot of cosplayers out there. A lot of fun.
Nice.
So I guess this is what they do over the Gaylord Hotel.
Basically, yeah.
I'm sorry, you gave me the perfect setup. I was like, my time has come.
I mean, hey, I'm glad to set up jokes here.
Yeah, you'd be better. Oh dear God. So Chris, how you doing today? Like, what you guys been playing?
I've been working on my my retro emulation stuff.
You want to show it off?
Well, I mean, I think I've kind of overdone that.
We're well familiar with that.
Yeah. But
and I say, I applaud you, kind sir.
Why, thank you. Yeah, I started setting in categories now, so you can like sort it by like, hey, like here's a playlist of all the God of War games, and here's a playlist of every Mario game, and here's a playlist of every Zelda game, and so on. And it was really fun going through and realize, like, I never realized how many like Tomb Raider games there are or how many Metal Gear games there were. Because like I just
had one question.
What's that?
Do you have a playlist of Castlevania games?
Yes.
Your words are as empty as your soul.
Joke's on you. I don't have a soul.
Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
just like
Nick
Mom
went
and Dad
really
used to
aggressive real fast.
Yeah.
Nick, we're all friends here.
Yeah, geez, man. What's with the nuclear button over there?
Wow.
Well, that's just prime.
Let the record show I have never threatened to kill a member of my podcasting panel.
No,
maybe I should head over to Jared's panel. It seems a little bit more safe for my lifespan.
Hey, liar!
I'm sorry, you guys are just setting them up, and I'm like, boom, 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 boom. Oh dear God.
Cue the please clap.
I don't think I have that here still. But I do.
I regret nothing. Exactly.
That will do, Pig. That will do. And by Pig, I mean Jared.
Oh.
Ooh.
That was a Cyclops level of death stare.
So So since I just shut Jared down, and speaking of shutting down, let's talk about our news story today. One awkward segue later.
By the way, aren't we supposed to talk about what we've been playing?
I mean, I've been playing you guys, so I think that's good enough.
Like a fiddle.
I need that clip from the Snyder Cut of Superman going not impressed.
Fuck off, Bud.
I'll take that.
The other one that I was thinking of was Hercules, the original Hercules show. Disappointed.
Yes.
I need that clip. I really do need that clip. I do.
Swords.
So here in the chat, like what you guys been playing, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So yeah, let's kind of. So Jared, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing some Darksiders as usual. I'm really enjoying the game. I started playing Battle Chasers, which because I've always been a big fan of Joe Madureira. In fact, I picked up the Battle Chasers like trade today on my LCS because I'm interested. I want to check this out. So I played that. I've been playing some Halo, the good Halo. I mean the Master Chief Collection. Not
Of course.
Yes, thank you. And what else have I been playing? Because I've mainly been just palling around in Gotham Knights.
Oh,
I still maintain that's a very underrated game.
Well, honestly, this is my review of Gotham Knights.
Crap, mega crap.
Oh, you mean the game you didn't play?
What?
Let the record show, even on my show is my receipts, that Nick actually refused to play Gotham Knights. And now he's reviewing. Now, Nick, no need to behave like a gaming journalist.
Oh! You take offense to that. I have integrity.
Don't be a gaming journalist. No, but Nick, at least, remember, Nick.
This is why Superman works alone.
There's a lot of reasons why Superman works alone. But remember, Nick, playing something, reviewing something and not playing it is the definition of gaming journalism.
Yeah, the Dean Takahashi Award.
It's almost like Nick refuses to play the next big hit in the sci-fi genre, Starfield.
You might as well claim that you've earned the prize in Takeshi's challenge. Has about the same amount of veritability.
Yeah, exactly.
Jared, don't go too far because there's something you need to remember about.
Weapons are part of my religion.
Again, he's threatening a podcast guest.
Oh my God,
Nick, you are an aggressive podcast. Wow, no one.
That's the joke.
I know. Jeez.
Oh,
Man.
I'm having way too much fun today. You guys are awesome. Just saying. So.
Yeah.
All right.
What's on the screen? Ooh, that.
Oh, I saw this coming the minute that Saints Row in name only remake released.
Here's the thing. Here's the nuance of the story, and Chris, back me up on this.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, people want to say it's the reboot that did them in, and while they're technically correct, really the problem is Volition has been running on thin ice. This was like their one chance at redemption. Because remember, Agents of Mayhem was a big investment that failed spectacularly.
To be clear, I like Agents of Mayhem.
Yeah, it's fine if you like it. But what I'm saying is, Agents of Mayhem was like this was their okay. We're gonna do something that like the people want to get all the attention back, and they effed it up so badly that honestly,
there's something that Razorfist said that makes a lot of sense in this particular scenario, where you know how there's that expression "get woke, go broke."
Oh, can I say this? I've always wanted to say this, man.
All right, wait. I'm gonna solo you. Go ahead, brother.
Get broke, go woke, and ultimately croak.
Yeah. That's essentially what this scenario is.
Nice.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's essentially what this scenario is the company was going broke and they threw their Hail Mary, which was to go woke. And I don't think these companies understand that woke is just hastening your demise. Because, like what 4N0H4 was saying, like they're appealing to a market that doesn't buy their product.
Because here's the thing, like there is a scenario. Like imagine if they'd done a reboot, but it was basically like it was harkening back to like Saints Row 1 and 2. Because there is a large portion of the Saints Row fan base that wants that like personally 4 is my favorite, but like they want like Saints
4 is
like,
my favorite as well.
Like 2 is a fan. Like imagine like a modern reboot, but in the style of Saints Row 2, and it has all the trappings. Because like the regular, like the 3 and 4 set Saints Row fanboys, they would come anyway. Like they would come play. They would still play that game, you know, because it still has that feel. And like literally that would sell hotcakes.
The problem with this, and this reflects a lot of what I've observed about like modern creatives, if you will, is that they seem to think that, oh, we'll just put Saints Row on it. It doesn't matter if the gameplay itself feels like Saints Row, people will still show up for it. We can cram whatever the hell we want into it. And guess what? When has that ever worked? Disney is still reeling.
It feels like
Star
the marketing
Wars
perspective more than it is the development perspective. It's like,
yeah,
oh hey, let's make this really low effort, low sale game, and then we're gonna throw on top of it a really highly popular, well beloved franchise name on it, and it'll sell buku bucks, and then we don't have to do a lick of work. And
well,
then
here's the thing you got to realize:
Pikachu face when it all falls apart around their ears.
in the PS2 and PS3 generations, there was a frick ton of GTA ripoffs, and we don't talk about any like Saints Row is literally the only GTA ripoff that managed to kind of carve off a little niche of its own by kind of just like GTA was going this way, Saints Row was like, whoa, 69, 69, 69, you know, and it works. Like I think the Saints Row approach works.
Yeah, well, for me, like I don't want to tap dance on the grave of Volition because
screw that.
I've been in a scenario. I've been in a scenario where like I fully empathize with the poor, like the people who weren't making the decisions that were just trying to, like they got royally effed here. Like these are Americans that are now out of work. And it's scary because when I was in the industry, I look back on every studio I worked for, save for Ubisoft, every single one of them has shut their doors. And it's because of incompetent leadership.
Yep.
This game was created because of incompetent leadership. The people that worked on it, the guys that did the lighting, the modeling, and all this stuff, they don't deserve what's happening right now.
Well, here's the problem: is the people that make these decisions, they don't face consequences for these actions. You see this in like every industry where it's like they ruin the company, they get their golden parachute, and then they go to another company and ruin that. They like there's a whole class of like of CEO types who just go from company to company, ruin it. They get paid tens of millions of dollars, and then they're gone in like 6 months.
Yep, I can personally vouch for that because I've seen it. I worked with this one producer. I'm not going to name her name, but she was an insufferable feminist, and she made working.
You worked with Sam Maggs, didn't you,
Chris? What does it rhyme with?
Yeah. But she made working at the company extremely hostile. Like it wasn't just her. There was a lot of there, but she went over to let's just say, I don't know, BioWare. And the same stuff started.
You worked with Sam Maggs.
And no, this person was friends with Anita Sarkeesian, and it was like I saw the photos and all this stuff, and I'm like, you just doomed your company. Like,
yeah, really.
He worked with Sam Maggs. Like I know you're not going to say it. I realize you're not going to say it. But
1, 2, 3, not it.
Yeah,
I know nothing.
And a lot of the times, these incompetent leaders have a tendency to fail upwards, as it is.
Yeah, because it's cronyism. They like that's how they destroy. Like I was there at ground level when the infiltration started, and what it was is you saw actual workers and you saw office politicians. And the actual workers got chased out so that the office politicians could step on them to climb the corporate ladder. And they ended up like opening the floodgates for their buddies. And I'm walking through. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I'm walking through the office during business hours, and there are people fighting tooth and nail to be at these studios, and these pieces of crap are watching The Daily Show on Hulu Plus during office hours. It's like, you should be playing our game. Like, if you're going to be caught doing something that's not like work related, be like, play our product. Oh, well, I don't really like games. Why the hell are you here then? You know?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Suffice it to say,
I hate to be Captain Obvious here, but I'm going to call a spade. You really shouldn't be hiring people who don't like or don't know a, darn video game to be making video.
Pay attention, Marvel.
Yeah.
You would think that would be just like common sense. Like, oh hey, we make sandwiches. We're an artisan sandwich company. Our job is to make the best sandwiches. It's like, we're hiring for a CEO design. Your job is going to be to design sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like sandwiches. You're hired.
Wait.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like essentially, remember Henry Cavill had some issues on The Witcher because the writers actively said they hated The Witcher.
Yep. Yeah. Well, isn't that what Marvel has in their policy? It's a red flag if you're a comic book fan.
Yeah, I still want to understand that you're making movies based on these comic books, and knowing these comic books is a bad thing now.
And then you have these adaptations where they openly brag about, oh, I didn't watch the source material. Oh, I don't even care about the source material. Like Last of Us, Secret Invasion. The guy openly bragged about not like reading Secret Invasion, and then he cried and whined about his show tanking.
Mm-hmm.
He even told Samuel L. Jackson not to read the actual comic. Or it's like with Halo when they said, oh yeah, we never read that. Or at least with Last of Us, here's the thing. I watched some of the cutscenes after watching the show. They actually get pretty close to the actual game. That's the one where I'm willing to give it a pass.
Yeah, but the second Last of Us was so insufferable.
I'm saying season 1 is just the first
game.
Yeah, the first game was a masterpiece, dude. Like, it is so heart-wrenching, and that end there. But
I didn't like
the
it.
Golf. Like, I liked it as a movie. I hated it as a game. Like, I think the series is better than the game, only in the sense that modern game developers fail to understand what video games are, and they just want to make marginally interactive CG films. And shoot the lock.
See, this is why, like, I still stand for Uncharted, because really engaging stories and immensely likable characters, but the gameplay was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, the grapple.
The gameplay was passable, but it was still at least somewhat enjoyable. But like the rest of it really carried it. The gameplay of Last of Us is atrocious. It is the worst parts of Uncharted. It is all the worst parts. At least with Uncharted, you had very likable characters, and the story was Saturday morning adventure serial stuff, but it was engaging enough. The characters are what carried that series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Nathan Drake is amazing. That's why everybody wanted Nathan Fillion to play him, because we loved Captain Mal.
Nathan Drake and Ed Sullivan are absolute gaming icons.
Chris, have you seen the fan film?
Yes.
The fan film is amazing.
I watched it, and I haven't even played the games.
Yeah.
My favorite scene is when he first steps down from that thing. Oh,
hey, Immortal Rising.
Hey. And they actually have the camera angles from the game.
Yes. I don't know, man.
You mean you didn't enjoy the Tom Holland movie?
That was the thing, is I liked the Tom Holland movie, just not as an Uncharted film.
It's a good it's a good Tomb Raider clone.
It just wasn't a good video game movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least with Sonic, it was a video game. It was clearly a video game movie.
Yeah, I love those Sonic movies. Both
those Sonic movies were amazing.
Yeah.
Sonic
used the Ugandan Knuckles reference.
One of my favorite moments is from the first movie. It's hey, I drew a picture of him, and it's Sonic. They put Sonic in the movie. Oh my god.
And I love how the crappy original design for Sonic showed up in the Alvin the Chipmunks movie that they did. Well, he got fired, and he's on his ass.
Yeah, well, that kind of goes to show, who's actually passionate about making video games into movies, because they will sneak in references and they will embrace the video game culture as it stands instead of trying to make video game culture into movie culture.
Yeah. Because it comes from this idea that, like, oh, movies are the pinnacle of art. It's like, oh, it's a privilege that we're gracing you with making a movie out of your little peasant product.
Yep.
When in reality, video games are making more money than movies, like all the other entertainment industries.
Yep. Gaming.
Combined.
Yep. And that always blew my mind when I was talking to artists and concept artists or art directors or whatever that were too cool for school. They thought like video games were beneath them, and they were only using this as a stepping stool to get into Hollywood. And it's like, don't you respect the medium? Like, why are you here? There are millions of people who are literally like harming themselves to be here, just to be in your position. And you don't
honestly,
even care
don't
about
get me wrong. I love the art of cinema. I love the art of film, but it takes an entirely new dimension in order to make a video game. The only reason that we view movies as high art is because of how long it's been around.
Yeah, movies have been around for roughly
30 years, and it'll be the new high art medium.
Okay. Here's the thing. You gotta think about. Movies started, let's say 1880, 1890. Like serious movie criticism, like the first movie reviewers didn't start showing up until the 1930s. So, yeah, I actually watched a video about this like about a year, about this exact topic, like about a week or so ago, and so like we are like, it's like Sharon said, we are a very new medium.
The thing about it too, I do acknowledge that when they're adapting video games to movies, there are some things that just are not going to translate well.
Yeah,
I 100% acknowledge that. The problem is they throw the baby out with the bathwater at that point, which I'm like, no, you still have a good IP. Or it's like what they'll do is they'll do the Halo thing where they're like, oh, it's in a different timeline. It's not even canon to the series. And I'm like, shut the hell up with this multiverse crap.
Yes.
Halo does not need a multiverse.
So when I become God Emperor of all the multiverses, the very first thing, like the millisecond that I become God Emperor of the multiverses, I am outlawing multiverses, like the ability
to
have
King the Conqueror here.
Oh, by the way, by the
way, Jared, this is for you. I'll be a generous God.
Yeah, thank you. If I woke up today and I was the head of 343, I would immediately say the Halo show. What Halo show? We haven't come out with a Halo show yet. I would say that's it. No, and get your asses in gear and give a split screen in Halo Infinite. If you're not going to do that, find a job somewhere else.
Yep. Well, dude, Nick, have you ever heard of the comic book Super Killer?
I haven't.
So the premise of Super Killer is that there are multiverses out there, but the problem is that there's too many of them, and it's causing like a circuit overload and like a cosmic circuit overload. So they have this guy who has been hired to go throughout the multiverses and to kill all of the superheroes in those alternate universes so they can delete that timeline. So you have him going into any random thing, like Superman needs to die because this is the wrong Superman. So they take him out.
Wait. I think I know the title of the next Deadpool movie. Deadpool kills the multiverse.
Yeah, there you go. But the thing is, I like to use my dad as like a test bed of stuff because he's not into this stuff as much as I am. So I like to use him as like a temperature gauge with the general audience. Every time we come out of Marvel movies now, he turns to me and he goes, "Can they stop with the alternate realities and the multiverse stuff? Stop it."
Honestly, I don't mind alternate realities and multiverses when they are done properly. The thing that frustrates me to high heaven about all this multiverse and alternate world nonsense is they use it as an excuse for poor writing.
Yes, exactly.
Everybody hates the thing. Oh, don't worry about it. It was just an alternate universe. We'll go right back. And then they keep doing it.
oh, this one storyline doesn't make sense. Oh, we'll just shove it in its own universe. Like Power Rangers recently started doing that, and it drives me insane.
Well, it's a crutch. It's just kind of like how it's like last year's time travel, where they're like, oh, they just went back in time, and it's a different time, and
or like,
no!
oh, this is a character from an alternate timeline. Like alternate timeline is poor man's multiverse.
It's the exact same character, but it's a different version from this timeline where this didn't happen. So you mean it's a multiverse?
Yep.
This character is black now. Why are they black? Because multiverse.
Yeah, like that's not how any of this works.
Do you know how the other story of Christ on Infinite Earths actually happened? That they detected, rightly so, that the audience didn't know what the hell was going on with the multiverse.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my whole purview on the multiverse nonsense is nut up or shut up. Keep your crap in line and keep it as consistent as possible, or don't at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like I don't mind.
You can't have it both ways.
Like you can do multiverses, but like I always treat them as like separate worlds. You know, like the whole Earth 1, Earth 2 kind of thing, where it's like, okay, you got your main continuity, you got Earth 2, we're gonna have like different variations and like the Justice Society. That's fine, but like all this kind of like I don't know.
The only multiverse that I actually really liked was from Dragon Ball Z when Trunks came back and he like basically one-shotted Frieza, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" And he's like, "There are worse things than Frieza in my timeline." And I was
that's
like,
the most
interests me.
And as weird as it is to say, I feel like one show that handled the multiverse well was Rick and Morty. Like, I feel like
the whole show is about it.
More though, Spider-Verse. I think Spider-Verse handled it pretty well.
No, it's just Spider-Verse is a cautionary tale of excess. Where
the first
I think,
one
like,
did, because it was just a small sampling of characters. It was like, no, here is just some alternate spider people, and we're gonna go have an adventure. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, the second one is like, how many spider people can we throw at the wall?
But the thing is,
and then when you have all these, it's like it's hard to get invested in like any of the new spider people because like they're just throwing so many at you. You don't get like too much time with them. Like, and I cared more about Peter B like 10 minutes in the movie than like Indian Spider-Man or Spider-Punk or whatever.
Or it's like
the only way that a large cast like that could ever work is if each of those cast had specific focus lights like they do in the long-running shonen. The long-running shonen have massive cast lists, but oftentimes you get enough of each character that you can at least understand who they are and what they're about.
Nice, Nick. The thing is,
it's water, you jackass.
Sure.
Light a match over it.
Milk. It's Nick's blue milk. But the thing is like the other thing that really annoys me.
I got my blue milk person right outside.
The other thing that they use multiverses for, and I'm seeing this with DC, is that they're using it in case one direction doesn't work, they can just hop on this one. That's why they're keeping the Matt Reeves universe alive. So if and when James Gunn's universe sputters and burns out, they can go, oh no, we're just gonna make more movies with Matt Reeves now.
So what you're saying is they're hoping for a new direction.
Nice, thank you. I appreciate that.
Let's kind of shift gears here and kind of like just go over some like news stuff. So, all right. So as you guys know,
I can see that you're holding there.
So as you guys know, we ended the Super Swiss Bean Brothers last week. We kind of took a few weeks off to kind of gather things. But me and Jared are happy to announce that next Wednesday we'll be launching our new show, Comics Watch. I wish I had Watch right here, but I should have planned better. Basically, it'll be a show where we do reviews, interviews, and then commentary. Well, me and Jared. Sometimes it will just me. And for our first episode this Wednesday, we will be reviewing Nightwing Volume 1 and Night in Bloodhaven by Chuck Dixon. And then Jared, should I give the special guest thing?
Yeah, go ahead. I was about to say, do you want me to tease it and make it a surprise on the video?
So making a cameo in this video, I've messaged him. He's already agreed to do it. The author of this book, Chuck Dixon, has agreed to record a short video of talking about this book and the stuff that will be part of that video on Wednesday.
Oh,
And
damn.
so I got Chuck Dixon to make a cameo when we're reviewing this book. So
what's the
that's
other
gonna be
thing you were holding? What's the other thing you were
so.
holding?
As you guys can see when you for those on my YouTube page, when you go down a little bit, is I recently passed 400 subscribers.
Ooh,
Thank you guys for that. You guys are awesome. And as promised to Jared, because I don't know why I did this, but well, I guess it's time to pay the piper. So next Wednesday.
Can I do it? Can I do it?
Go ahead.
Next Wednesday, live, Nick will be reading with voices and everything Spider-Man Sins Past. And yes, he will be making the Norman Osborn face at the end of the book.
Oh boy.
This is going to be fun. So, for those of you that don't know what Sins Past is, that's the storyline where Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy get busy.
Where is the what page is the face on?
As Syndrome would say, they got busy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Do the face. Oh.
No, Chris.
This is going to be so much fun. This is
I'm
gonna
make that
I'll
my
be there
avatar.
with popcorn, watching Nick completely debase himself for content.
The things that I do for you fucks. The things that I do for you all.
I'm gonna do that. I have to do a Wonder Bat stream if I reach a K after one before the end of the year. So I'm gonna be suffering as well, brother.
But who okayed that O face that
I know. I'm like, what? No. Chris. I think the real question is who okayed Gwen Stacy having sex with Norman Osborn?
Apparently,
Yeah, that's the real question.
That's the real question. The idea,
whoever
Gwen is underage. That's the idea here.
Oh,
die, monster! You don't belong in this world.
Damn straight.
Yeah, exactly. Someone ought to sing the sound of freedom at that point.
As a well-known and well-beloved video game character would say, we can't let God do all the work.
Yeah.
Whoa! That's interesting, but I sure don't care.
All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. So, all right. So we're all a bunch of old heads here, me high above all. So, all right, well, Immortal, in that case.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets.
That is for you, Immortal Rising. That is for you, brother. All right, so we're gonna go around and talk about like our earliest gaming memories, like what was our first game console, like what was some of our earliest memories, and while you do that,
boy, Nick, you're gonna bring back some memories for me.
I guess you could say we're gonna take it back to the past to play the shady games that suck ass.
And then watch the stream is taken down for copyright reasons because Nick was singing.
It's a cover.
It's a cover. It still doesn't count according to YouTube.
In my, I say it's like copyright, please. In my defense, I was singing it very badly. So if you give me a little.
In his defense, he's unsupervised.
That who. You know, we really are having a great time tonight.
Oh, Nick, who's going first?
You.
Oh, okay. So, oh man, let me think back. All right, so those are that have paid attention when I've told stories. Obviously, not Nick. Was when I brought up about how when I was very, very, very young, I spent a lot of time in the hospital in the emergency room. Long story, I'm not going to get into that. But the thing is like. I used to always see all the kids with their Game Boy Advances there. So that was my first console was actually a Game Boy Advance with, I think it was the He-Man Masters of the Universe game was my first game. Ooh. Then I really started playing it when I got my, my Pokemon Leaf Green. That was my favorite. But also
a classic.
At the hospital, they legit had like an arcade there. So that was like right outside the room I was always staying. So what it turns out is that there was like Hydro Thunder, Galaga, Donkey Kong. So I would go in there. Dude, I was the Dominic Toretto of Hydro Thunder.
I mean, honestly, Hydro Thunder is absolutely just top tier arcade.
So Jared, you were that guy playing Galaga.
Yes, I was. So what?
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we saw.
Yeah, exactly. But so there was that, and I remember I used to go over to a friend's house a lot, and he had a PlayStation 2, and he had the Transformers Armada game, and this was back when I was like very into Transformers, and I wanted a PlayStation. My dad bought me an Xbox. Looking back on it, I do not regret that decision, because then my first actual Xbox game, actually I had two, Bionicle Heroes, which I've since rebought, and there was the Star Trek game where you could fly around in the ships and have like space combat that came out around that time.
Star Trek Armada.
Ooh.
Before that, but then I remember this. I'm really gonna date myself with this next statement. I went to Best Buy one day in 2007 and saw a copy of Halo 3. And
hey,
I was
Chris. Can you do like that as a share screen so that like that way I can full screen it? We can all see each other.
Sure. Let's see.
And so what happened was, because I had previously played Battlefront 2. That was like the most extreme game I played, if you can believe that. That was like my first rated T for teen game. And then
was it just like the simulations?
Yes, it was, as a matter of fact. So it's kind of funny. My parents used to come by my room and go, "Why are you always screaming for the Republic?" Anyway,
oh my god!
It was like I played that. I played the Episode 3 game, which is dope, by the way. Republic Commando. I was like really into Star Wars games. Then I was hanging out with a buddy of mine. This was around the time Halo 3 had just released, and he was like, "Dude, you haven't played Halo 3 yet? Go get it." So I went to Best Buy. I showed it to my dad, and I said, "Oh, it's rated M." And he goes, "Okay, fine." My dad was like the one guy that would like go against my mom's rules on content all the time. Like, she didn't want me to see the Resident Evil movies because she thought they were like demonic with zombies. And Dad's like, "You want to go see that Resident Evil movie?" And I was like, "Yes." Big mistake.
So basically, your dad was like,
All right, everyone, chill.
Yeah, my dad was the do whatever the hell you want parent. So anyway, so we played. So that was the first game that I really, really, really got into in terms of the lore and really learning how to play really well. And also in the times when I was like immobile because of health reasons and stuff, that was like the one because my friends and I had Nerf guns. We would play around, act like we're soldiers and stuff. In Halo, we could do that even if I was like off my feet with like a cast on my leg per se. So it was like, okay, we can still do what we normally do. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. The other game that I played a lot of when on my Game Boy, this again dates me, was the Rescue Heroes game.
Ooh.
I had that, believe it or not, they had a Rescue Heroes game for the Game Boy Advance, and I played that. It was okay. It wasn't the best. What I really got into in terms of Game Boy was the Power Rangers Time Force and Wild Force games. That's when I really got into those.
Dude, you missed so many great Power Rangers games during like the Super Nintendo and Genesis on the Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many great games that you never got to play.
Oh, also, my buddy of mine, his grandma lived literally next door to me, so he would always come over when he was at his grandma's house, and we would go over there too. And they had a Nintendo 64 over there with Smash Bros. And then what we would do is like we'd play the crap out of that game in Pokemon Snap, but with Smash Bros. What we would do if we were eating, we would just put on all bots and just watch the match. It's like it's a wrestling match.
Oh dear God!
Yeah, we had some fun times, but yeah, really.
Wait, Jared. So you're saying that you and your friend played a.
That
was unexpected nightmare fuel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what I actually just got back into is the Aliens versus Predator game, like the one where you get to play as predators, aliens, or humans.
Wait, yeah. Did you ever play that on the Jaguar?
No.
Oh my God, look at this. Like I was blown away when I first saw this because I was like, I missed out a freaking amazing game. Well, I wouldn't say an amazing game, but it was like
What
at the
game
time,
on the Jaguar?
Aliens versus Predator.
Oh yeah,
but
Yeah,
it's so
it's like-
cool because I'm talking about the one that was on Xbox 360. What's cool about it is you can play as the Predator. You can use all the tools. You can like use his thermal vision, his alien vision. You can like use the voice imitator to like make humans go somewhere, and then you can actually despine them. And with the human, and it's all in first person, so you can do the whole like second mouth attack in first person. It's so dope. But I really got into that, and then I also started replaying. Here's me channeling my Melanie Mac. I started playing Tomb Raider Legend. I used to play a lot of that. That was like one of the first games I really beat. That and actually the old TMNT game from the animated movie where Raphael basically becomes Batman. That was the first game where I got all of the achievements.
guys. He said the like the old one from like. So you're talking the one for the Super Nintendo?
No, I'm talking about the one for Xbox 360. I didn't play Super Nintendo.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh
my first gaming console was an Xbox
my hair
360.
is coming gray right now.
My first one, let me be clear. The first one that I actually plugged into a TV because I had like the Game Boy again, and then the Nintendo DS. And also, here's how much of an OG I am. I subscribed to GameFly back in the day.
Oh wow, I remember GameFly. Yeah,
I got a lot of good games.
So when I think of like old Turtles game, I think of Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo, which by the way is still a great game. Jared, have you ever played Turtles in Time?
No, but do you know what I want to do?
Okay.
Nick, real quick. On the Xbox store, I'm gonna buy this because I'm budgeting myself out right now. But I'm gonna buy this. They have like the collection of like every single Ninja Turtles game, but ported over to the
Cowabunga
Xbox
collection. The
Yes,
Cowabunga
I'm
collection.
gonna buy that.
Yes.
Yeah. I got that right.
Infinite. Can you play some gameplay of Turtles in Time to show Jared?
Sure. Hold on. What's this one with the Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo. You can also do Hyperstone Heist, but like that, it's a little bit different. So Turtles in Time is based off the arcade game, which, by the way, Jared, if we're at an arcade and there are also the X-Men game for arcade is based off the same engine. You would love the X-Men game.
Well, I did play. Do you guys remember that there was this game console called I think it was called like Hyper Scanner, where you'd have trading cards. You can scan them. I had that. I had that.
I am so sorry. I am so sorry, brother.
I had that. I liked it. It was fun.
Wow.
Man.
To be fair, all right, Infinite, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, somebody actually compiled the Cowabunga collection to this system of all systems. Oops, where are we? Sega to the Dreamcast.
Oh, really?
Wow, really?
So yeah, if you go to,
I mean, to be fair, it's just a collection of ROMs, so it's not that hard.
I mean, that's true, but still.
But yeah, because it's one of the games collection that keeps showing up in my recommendations. I am going to. It's on my list to buy.
Turtles in Time is in that collection, brother. You need to play it.
Yeah, because I love the TMNT property. I watched the animated show. I watched all the movies. I haven't seen the newest one. It looks interesting. But the point is, I've always been a big fan of Ninja Turtles. I think that's where my love of Daredevil came from, because it's because of the origins of the characters. And it was just the opportunity to have all those games in the collection. I may even try and rebuy TMNT.
Oh yeah.
So, Chris, what are your early gaming memories?
Oh God. So the first gaming console in our home was, because my parents were cheap. Instead of the Atari 2600, like every human being had, we had this thing called instead of this guy right here, we had this thing called the Coleco Gemini, which was basically a Coleco rip-off system. It wasn't even as good as the ColecoVision. It was like a step down. And it played some Atari 2600 games, but not all of them. So it was like a roll the dice, like whether or not you blew money on a game that wasn't even going to play on the system.
Wow.
Hold it up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. But it was a crap system, and I honestly I remember like just being like, I'm done with video games. These are garbage. But sometime around 1986, 87, I think I was in like 5th grade, around there, or 4th grade. My my parents hooked me up with this for a birthday present, the Sega Master System.
Oh wow!
And yeah, and the reason why I wanted this one was because we were in the arcade at a water park here in New England, Water Country, and they had these. They had some amazing. This was like at the height of like Altered Beast and Shinobi and Rampage, like that style of games. And I wanted those games so bad, and Nintendo couldn't replicate those games because it was a pretty weak system. Like, and I'm not trying to like dump Nintendo, but like they just didn't have the hardware for replicating arcade games. Like they made great original games like Mario and stuff, but like don't even try to replicate like what's in the arcade. But the Master System
I think didn't a version of Altered Beast didn't it actually come out on the NES? I think.
Yes, it did. Yeah. It's let me show you. It looked really bad. It was
yeah, I was about to say it probably looked very rough.
It was where's it?
Yeah, because I think Shinobi came out on the NES as well.
Yes, it did. And so here is, where is it? Altered Beast. Come on, I know I have it. That's the problem, is I got to get some better granularity with my search stuff.
Yeah, also like it seems like this is just lagging like crazy.
Yeah, I think that's because I'm going through OBS, and I've got like it. Okay, so I don't. Maybe I have it on. Maybe it's on the That's what it is. I think it's on the Famicom. Oh yeah, but then I don't know the Japanese name.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I ended up. I had asked for the Sega Master System, and I got it, and nobody else had it, and the whole British side of the family was like, oh yes, Sega. But I wanted this one game, Shinobi, and my birthday rolls around, and I didn't get Shinobi. I unwrapped my gift, and the game that I got was this game right here. Did I? Wow, I am like.
You got Predator 2? Wow.
Yeah, no, this is what I got instead. And
that is not a bad substitution.
No, well, for my 10-year-old fetid mind, I was bullshit. I was like, what the hell is this crap? Like, again, this is competing against Nintendo. This looks like worlds better graphic-wise, like, than anything that Nintendo could do.
Well, the thing is, the Master System was objectively more powerful than the NES.
Yeah, but like, I was like, okay, so you're making me play a chick. Thanks, Mom. Like, you got me this like girl game. This is stupid. What do I do in this game? And then one of my friends came over whose parents were into Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. And they were like totally backseat driving. They're like, oh my God, you got Phantasy Star? Holy crap. I'm like, what? They're like, that game is amazing. It's got like first person dungeons, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really? What? So it made me give it a chance. And this turned out to be one of the best games I've ever played. Like, I was so hooked as like a little kid. I'm on this, like, the whole premise of Phantasy Star is that it's a sci-fantasy world where there's actually 3 planets. Like, what we're seeing here is the planet of Palma, where the character starts off. But like, you can actually go to like a spaceport, get on a spaceship and go to a desert planet or go to an ice planet and stuff. And I had never seen anything like that before. And like, it was like, it blew my mind. I was like, this is insane. How are they even able to do this? And then I had friends come over and they're like, well, I can't get that on my system. The friends that would like use you for your shit, like they'd come over and they'd be like, "Hey, can
we all have those?"
Yeah, can I play?
I was the only dude of my friends that had Halo and an Xbox for so long. I became the most popular kid on my block.
That reminds me. I was the only kid in my neighborhood that had like a trampoline. And like everyone from around the neighborhood just wanted to come
Nick,
and jump
you
on the
were
trampoline.
old back in the day when trampolines were the pinnacle of fun.
I mean, hey, I was the youngest of the group, and even I had that popularity with my trampoline. It's just one of those things that when you're a kid, a trampoline is just the bomb.
The only thing more popular than a trampoline to a 12-year-old kid is you have a pool.
Yes.
Yep.
Like if you had a pool, like you were literally the coolest kid in the neighborhood, especially when it was like hot in the summer.
Oh, absolutely, you were.
Yeah, hey, can I come over? What are you doing? What's going on? Like, wait,
can I
come
swim in your pool?
Yeah. Wait, you wouldn't give me the time of day during the school year, but now that it's summer and hot out, you're suddenly like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I remember my dad dug out like an old mini bike from the garage. We were kind of testing it out, and all of a sudden, some of the neighborhoods kind of started like kind of inching in, and they put it away because, like, yeah, I was mad.
You know what my mom did once? She told me the story. It's hilarious. So when she was a little girl, she wanted a pool, but it was and naturally it's really expensive to like get the pool process. So my mom, being the person she is, takes a shovel into her backyard and digs a giant hole. He's like, that's how pools are made, right?
I mean, she's not wrong. Because most people, they use a much bigger shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally.
See, the thing is, here's the problem. Your mom's not a hoe, and to make a pool, you need a hoe, a backhoe. And because your mom was not a hoe, she was not able to dig the pool. Jared is like, I know.
That is one of the most backhanded compliments I've ever heard put to internet. Like, congratulations to you, sir.
This show's gonna get canceled real quick.
But I just said your mom was not a hoe.
No, but still.
Like I said, it's a backhanded compliment. You're still complimenting him. His mom's not a hoe, but my lord, was that a backhand delivery to it?
No, but I'm just saying you have to be really careful about the language you use on YouTube, particularly in live streams.
Fine. I'll just say your mom's a really smart person.
Thank you.
And I think I know where you get your good taste in chips from.
Well, oh yeah, actually, I
love how you had to think about that for a second.
I told her about it, and she's like, "Yeah, that makes a lot more sense."
Jared, I freaking love how you just had to like think about it for a moment.
She was the one who showed me Snyder's movies for the first time.
Okay. Also, like Chris, I really wish we could have gotten this remake, in America, but like this is the only time they've ever done this. This is such a beautiful remake.
Yeah, and the English translation, like what we're seeing here is all the Japanese, but like I actually got the game patched to be in English. And they did the follow-up. So they did Phantasy Star 1, which is what we're seeing here. Like, look at the way that Alyssa there looks. Like, wow. Compared to that black-haired thing that we saw in the Master System. But they also did Phantasy Star 2. So it's like you get these two amazing games, and they were going to do Phantasy Star 4, and then Sega, because Sega, newer modern Sega, is just full of bad decisions, decided to cancel it.
Yeah. Also, hello, Deathwish. How you doing? She was supposed to be on the show, but like she had some stuff she had to take care of, so unfortunately she wasn't able to make it. But just want to give her a shout out. Hey, how you doing?
Well, I mean, I think JonTron put it best in his skit like years and years ago that Sony makes decisions when they're high off of cocaine.
Yeah, that pretty much describes it.
And I think we can all agree Nintendo makes the best decisions when they're on the back foot. Like, when they're on the back foot, they literally like change the they're like, all right, forget, we're gonna change industry. We're losing money. Let's just change the industry again.
And 343 never makes a good decision.
I mean,
True.
That's obvious. I thought.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate that. And Ubisoft is like, can we screw people out of their money with this decision? Can we monetize this decision?
Dude, Ubisoft is probably one of the most anti-consumer companies.
For the record, Chris is a former Ubisoft employee, so he has the tea.
Yeah, I've got the tea to spill.
Yeah. All right. Chris, do you have any tea that you haven't yet spilled on stream that you want to share? I'm sorry, I love your Ubisoft stories, so that's why I'm always kind of pumping you for the stories.
I wish I could get like how I was naming that producer that I worked with that like destroyed Anthem and
that Nick
Mass
guessed
Effect
who it
Andromeda.
is.
Well, actually, no. Like there's the Ubisoft thing was just more of a like we are a team of diverse people and we are the most important people in the world and like yeah. Well, that's the thing is like half the time like. We would be on conference calls, and because they're situated in Quebec, and we were in San Diego or Tokyo or whatever, and you would just get these like people would just like look across the table at each other like, was he just messing with us? Because none of that sounded remotely like English, like. And I think that's what the problem was at Ubisoft is they were so obsessed with diversity that they failed, like that they didn't understand that like people needed to understand one another when they spoke to one another. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to work with somebody when you're like trying to decipher what they're saying through broken English.
Yeah, and from my understandings from some of my friends in Canada, the Quebecois, they have a tendency to be very French in the fact that they look down their noses at anybody who is not Quebecois.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, like the whole Canadian politics system, especially when it comes to Quebec, is very very asinine. Like they're the reason. Like Quebec kind of rules Canadian politics. Is like to be a high level Canadian politician, you need to be both fluent in both French and English, and by fluent, we need to the point where like you get the accent and the enunciation down. Like you need to speak perfect frickin' Canadian French.
Oui, baguette. Je mange le pois.
I have a friend who's from France, and she went on a rant about how she thinks that people from that French Canadians aren't real French people.
Yeah,
well, they're not. They're Canadians.
Yeah, it's like calling a Mexican a Spaniard. Well, the thing is like I have a lot of French Canadian friends. In fact, I'm my mother's side, I got some French Canadian in there. But like, and I'm practically in Canada up here in New England. We're actually farther north than parts of Canada. But there's just there is this thing where like you get these arrogant people who like, we are the best at what we do, and you are lucky to be within our presence. And it's like, okay, well
here's
what are you doing?
Here's the thing: your average Canadian has an arrogance kind of thing. Like the average Canadian looks down their nose at the U.S. But but that's your average Canadian. The average like French Canadian looks down at both the U.S. and like it's like on a whole nother level. Like you think like these regular Canadians arrogance is bad. Try the super Canadian arrogance.
Yeah,
it gets worse.
Well, it sucks.
Wait, like there's more.
You know what really sucks is when so like part of why I became kind of a polyglot, speak multiple languages, was that growing up in New England here, we have a very large Puerto Rican community in Massachusetts. Like half of Massachusetts is Puerto Rican, and lo siento, no hablo inglés. Like they would talk shit to your face in Espanol, and you're like, I don't know what they're saying, and then they all the ones that could speak Spanish would just start laughing. So
the best thing in the world is like you walk past some people and they're on a bench and like they start smack talking a language. You stop dead in your tracks. You turn to look at them. Just like the look on their faces. Like I feel like as soon as you stop dead in the tracks, you realize, oh shit, he understood what we're saying. And then you like turn around, you see their faces. The best feeling in the world.
Yeah, there's a good phrase in Spanish. Tengo ganas de matar. I have the urge to kill. All you gotta do is just say that, and they're like, lo siento, lo siento.
Yeah.
But that was why I started learning foreign languages, is because I didn't like being in situations where people were literally disrespecting me to my face.
All right, Jared. So, you got to go.
Yep.
Oh.
Are we still doing UTC tonight?
Yes, at 8:00.
8 o'clock. All right. So, yep. See you later, Jared. We'll probably run for another half hour because like Hiro and I just need to get through our stuff. So, thank you, Jared.
I'll see you guys later. Yeah. Remember, Starfield is P.
He ran like a freaking coward.
He pulled the pin and ran.
Oh dear God. That was Jared, everybody. Frick that guy. No, but yeah. So Shiro, what are some of your favorite gaming memories?
Well, I think out of this group here, I'm actually kind of the youngest gaming wise. My first console ever was the GameCube. And
okay, that's not too bad. I mean, it's still 20 years old, so.
Yeah. Well, basically, my dad took me to Circuit City way back in the day, and he said, all right, now, you can either get the PlayStation 2 or the GameCube. Which one do you want?
You made the right
have
choice.
both.
You made the correct choice.
Yep, and I absolutely went for the GameCube, and my first video game ever was Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Oh.
And I actually, me and my dad couch co-opted Wind Waker. Like I would be able, I was smashing through dungeons like nothing, but my impatient dumbass at like 5 years old couldn't figure out the boss patterns, so dad would help me out with those. And we actually got all the way through and beat Ganondorf together, which was really great. That was some fun memories. Oh man, there was also Custom Robo that I played.
Oh, that is such a good game.
Yeah, that I ended up playing that a lot with my friends because I figured out how to cheese the combat system, because Custom Robo is made, the whole battle style is made for either big head models or the standard models. But if you use a strike vanisher and you use it right, you can pop around the stage about 3 or 4 times, pop up right behind the robot, and if you have one of those auto down guns, you can knock them down, set 2 grenades, and then you're out of there like a bat out of hell.
Wow.
None of the computers could compete with it at all.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that game.
And another one of the personal greats of mine was Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door. Can't beat that. It's the best Paper Mario, bar none, even to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first time I figured out how to do stylish moves. And I was like, oh my God, this is so absolutely cool. It took me years to actually figure out that basically all the forms of attack for you and your partners have a stylish move. And it's actually gotten to the point now where I have memorized all the stylish timing. And even if I freshly start up a new game of Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door, I instinctively know where that stylish timing is. It's absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of my childhood memories were formed on the GameCube, and eventually I did get a Game Boy Advance. A lot of that was, Pokemon, Ruby, Emerald, and Sapphire. I also had, let's see here. There was Mega Man, white version. Which
Mega Man?
Yeah, there was Mega Man on the Mega Man on the Game Boy.
I mean, to be fair, there was Mega Man on the GameCube, so
that's true. Yeah, Battle Network 3, white version.
Guys, we have a new challenger. A new challenger has arrived to take Jared's place. Yes, I'm looking for. All right. Hey, Nix, what you doing? You're only an hour late, but it's all good.
Yeah, we had an amusement park trip today, so.
I saw that looked like a lot of fun.
Ooh.
It was. Very tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
Yeah, outside of Mega Man Battle Network 3. I also played Golden Sun, which was basically my first JRPG.
I love you. I love you so much.
And there's actually a funny story about how I got Golden Sun, because the original cartridge that I had was a Crash game, was Crash.
Mhm.
And it was like a Crash port from the PlayStation 2 to the GameCube. And my friend at the time, who always comes over during the summer to his grandparents' house, his grandparents lived right next door to me, came over and stole my Crash game.
Oh,
So to get back
they?
to get back at him, I went over to his house, played, and I saw Golden Sun. And I talked with his uncle, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm taking this." He's like, "Yeah, sure, it's fine."
this is mine.
So basically, you're like,
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And I remember that I was thinking that this is a trade down. This was just me putting, like you said, putting some dirt in their eye, and I plug it in and I start it, and just off of the music alone, with the pan flute and the art style, I was sold from day one. I'm still
So
a Golden
good.
Sun fan. I will still play it to this day, man.
And this is why we're friends. Like, this is why we're friends, Sharon. Like, this is why.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
But,
trust me.
the wrong
When we
game.
get to me, I'll be giving Golden Sun some love when we get to my place. But so Nix, what are some of your
one last quick story for you before we move on, just real quick. One of my personal party games that I had was fun. I didn't get Mario Party. I got Pac-Man Fever.
Oh,
Which,
what's
if you
that?
don't know, that is basically the GameCube's version. That is Namco's knockoff version of Mario Party, where it's Heihachi from Tekken, Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man, and two other characters from some of their lesser known titles that I can't remember. And you had all kinds of like crazy party games and
wait. So you literally had the Pac-Man fever.
yeah, yeah, I had that. And
is that song in the game? Please, if that song is not in the game, I will burn down Namco right now.
I don't remember if it is or not, but it probably
lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
But I mean, there was some really crazy stuff, and it was actually really good, despite being basically a knockoff Mario Party.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I guess I didn't have that one. I'll have to. Is that that's an American game, right?
Yeah, it is an American game.
Cool. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. I mean, I can pass you the website that I use later after the stream for that.
Oh, I'm sure we have our places for those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can just go on Amazon today. Like, there's literally there's a huge market right now, which is absolutely terrifying as a former game dev, where there are Chinese vendors that are selling like pirated like it's like the Switch and like a lot of modern stuff. Like all the games that I'm showing on here on the Switch and stuff, I own. Like that's a system you can still buy. I'm not going to pirate that shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
Like when there's games that are you can no longer buy them, and if you do buy them, they're not going directly to the publisher. Then I have complete moral, like I don't care. Like I don't think they're harming.
Screw legality. Who cares?
Yeah, but if it's still on the market, if you could still go to like a GameStop or still go to Amazon and buy the legit copy of the game because it's still available, you're taking and you get the pirated version, you're taking money out of the pockets of hardworking developers.
Well,
So,
that's usually why if I'm going to, use alternative methods, my usual go-to rule is the lifetime of the console plus around 8 or 10 years. That usually gives enough time for it to have lived its life. I probably owned it at one point, and if I didn't, it's kind of hard to get. It's kind of expensive, and it becomes and I'm not, taking the money right out of the developer's mouth, so to speak.
And because like right now we're kind of in a place where like a lot of the PS3 and 360 games are getting really hard to play, and like PS3 and 360 emulation are coming up, versus like pretty much anything from PS4 and Xbox One, like those are all backwards compatible. Like a lot of those, like all like the amazing games got re-released, and anything that isn't, you can still play them on your modern console. So like there's less of a need to emulate the PS4 Xbox One, whereas PS3, that's really important, and then with the Xbox 360 as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
although
well-
I will, as a hard line for myself, just out of the enjoyment spectacle of it, I'll probably stop a hard line at my alternative methods, probably right around PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, because that's right around the last console generation that I was really enjoying games.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nix, we're gonna save you the best for last because like I've been kind of wanting to talk about like my stuff for a while.
Yeah, no worries.
But I'm saving the best for last though. So for myself, yeah, go way back.
Flatterer.
Well, of course, she's a pretty lady. What can I say? So for me,
I'm not calling you
not
wrong,
that
I'm just
far
calling you
back, but kind of.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I may be old, but I'm not like not. Oh dear God, bro! Like, okay. So okay. My first console that we had was an NES. All right, there. I told you. And we had an NES at my parents' house. At my grandma's house, we had an Atari 2600. And I spent a lot, so also like whatever one at my grandma's house, I played Atari 2600. And like me and my sister had played a lot of those games. Like some of the NES games I remember playing was like Super Mario Brothers 3 and like a lot of those games. And for the Atari, I really remember enjoying Defender, Pitfall. And then the first console that was mine, I'm just making you jump all around, was a red Play It Loud Game Boy. So this is like the DMG Game Boy, like the big fat boy. The one with like the thick boy, but it was like the red version.
Oh, you had a red like OG one of these?
Yeah. Yeah, let me dig up a picture of it. I'll share it.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore, and I actually wouldn't mind getting like a new one just for like memories.
Put in a ghost box.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, let me. Yeah. This is it. All right. I'm gonna present my thing here. This was the Game Boy I owned. This was my first console.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
So it was a black and white Game Boy. So yeah, that was my first one. And yeah, I love that thing. And I basically got my first game was so Chris, all right, Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. That was my first game. And I played the heck out of that one so much that like the top of the cartridge like started to get frayed. That is actually a really good game. And then like some of the games I had for my Game Boy were like Link's Awakening. So funny story about that one. This is like 99 ish, like 1999, and I was in middle school, and a friend of mine had Link's Awakening, and I wanted to get it off of him. I traded him a gold gel pen for that.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Somebody got the better end of the deal.
Whoa!
Look at that. Did he just eat himself?
Wow.
I think Nick yeeted himself.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, when he was
you know what
closing
probably
the.
happened? His device is probably disconnected because that's happened to me already once this stream too. So
I think what happened was he tried to close the window for the Nintendo. Oh, hey, he's back.
Fuck all y'all.
What did I do?
I know.
Okay, that's true. You're a sweet princess. You are forgiven. I was literally grabbing some of my portable consoles, you numb nuts.
we didn't kick you. Your device is disconnected, man.
All right, so I don't have everything here, but like some of my classic games. Now these aren't the ones I grew up with, but like these are some of my favorites. Got I'm gonna solo myself. Got Pokemon Silver right here.
Ooh.
Got some
Yeah.
Tetris. AGS 101, baby.
Nice.
And this isn't all of it. I think I got other stuff elsewhere. And then I got
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, my
That looks
boy,
familiar.
Golden Sun.
Oh,
Ooh,
and
and the
sequel.
Lost Age. Oh man, yeah.
this is actually surprisingly a really fun game.
Actually,
What
yeah,
is
the
that?
Shaman King games are actually really good. So
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
disagree with that.
I highly recommend them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Zelda game, but it's kind of like an open world 2D side scroller. And
That's on the GBA.
yeah, and then
Oh, nice.
yes,
The red version Charizard 3DS XL.
these are actually worth a little bit of a pretty penny, so.
Oh,
And,
believe me, I understand. I've got a couple of myself that are worth a pretty penny as well.
Yep, and I only I have two 3DS games here to kind of show off. Got this one, and then oh my god, I love this game so much.
Oh my lord, you have Fantasy Life? Oh my god, that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite games from the
Shiro,
3DS.
did you hear about the sequel that's coming out?
No, I didn't.
They're making a sequel for the Switch.
Oh yeah, boy. That's
We
what
are
I'm talking
playing
about,
playing
Nintendo.
that. We are playing that. Co-op, brother. We are doing that.
Oh, well, I'll go for that. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, because they do the co-op. Like it just Fantasy Life is just such a good game. Like
Yes,
It's such a chill and relaxing game.
yeah, I probably have like 200 hours in my save at least, just because it's just like I've always wanted games in which I could just kind of live in the world, and that game is just perfect. And I never thought we'd get a sequel, and we have, so like I'm happy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I actually did have kind of like my own Nintendo 64 moment. Oh, sorry. There we go. So what happened? Chris, you might want to go to the PlayStation section, just letting you know.
right.
So this is like 97, 98. We were having Christmas up north at the family cabin. And we were opening gifts, and I got all right. Tell you what. Okay. I'm gonna stop my cam. But yeah, so we were at the cabin, and it was a really nice kind of thing. Actually, Sharon, fill some time while I go grab some things.
I mean, sure. I've got more game stories that I can tell. Like I've got
Tell one.
What?
Tell one of them.
Yeah, because one of my first PC games actually was Myst.
Oh yeah, nice.
And if anybody here knows what Myst is, it is a point and click puzzle game with a lot of lore that is hidden underneath the surface through journal entries and whatnot. And it also triples as kind of like a detective whodunit. So,
it's also a game you can beat in 30 minutes if you know what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Unlike its sequel, Riven, which is my personal favorite because you have to learn a language system, a number system. Like it is absolutely bonkers what they did with that game.
All right. I'm back. So
Yep.
we were opening presents, and I open it up, and not this exact copy, but this game.
Casper.
Yeah, it's kind of like a nice, like it's kind of like a maze. So it's very much kind of like you're going through a maze. Kind of non-violent, honestly. Why do I hear Parasite music?
Oh, sorry, that's the music I got for the PlayStation background.
It was good music. And like in my stupid me, I was like, I looked over at my cousin. It's like, oh, we can play it on yours, because like I just like you'd think I'd get this, and I put two of them together, but I was a stupid kid. And one of my aunts said, "Oh, Nick doesn't realize it," and I literally look up, and right there, both of my sisters are holding a brand new PlayStation 1.
Yes.
So
Nice.
what I do is I jump up and say, "We got PlayStation!" You know, just like I think somebody took a picture of it because like I remember like a flash going off. But like I guarantee you, like if someone had taken a video of that and like posted on YouTube, I would have been the PlayStation kid. You know, like
you would have been the
like,
meme.
like I would have been the PlayStation equivalent. Like you had the N64 kid. I would have been the PlayStation kid. Like just imagine like the timelines where like I become a living meme. Like I'm a laughing stock, but that's beside the point.
I mean, same difference.
All right, so I got some other gaming memories I want to share. So there's 10 Pin Alley. Like a lot of these games are games I've rebought, so just kind of keep that in mind. So this is a bowling game. It's really great multiplayer. My favorite thing is when you're playing multiplayer, you could actually go onto the second controller and taunt your opponent. So like you press these buttons like loser, loser, you suck, choke, and like you know, it was just one of it. Like it annoyed the heck out of him, but I love. So yeah, this is like one of those games where it's like, you know, like it's just a nothing burger, but like you have memories of it. So
oh yeah.
And then this game is my mother ducking jam.
Yeah, CTR.
Oh
baby.
yeah.
Screw Crash Team Racing. This is pod racing.
Yes.
I mean, I agree with you in that Crash Team Racing is pod racing. For me, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is my personal favorite, though.
The remake?
The PlayStation 2 version.
I never actually played it. The remake is fine. What's really crazy about the remake was so the thing with Crash Team Racing is it's really about like the boost. So like you do a jump and then you do the boost and like you got like 3 boosts. I can hit the boost without even having to see the visual aids. Like when I first played the HD version, it kind of took me a second, but like actually my muscle memory came back for the boost. Like I was at like probably like 2 races and I was able to do the boost like that, and like that made me so happy that like it like. See, like that's like, the problem I had with like the Crash. Like I'm a big Crash Bandicoot fan, and the problem I had with the Insane trilogy is the timing is off. Like the jump timing. Like there's
it's actually something to do with his hitbox, because Crash's original hitbox was rectangular, and then they rounded the edges, which makes him a lot more slipperier on the geometry.
Yeah, because that's the thing where it's like, you know, like. So there's a lot of jumps. It's like I feel like it's just like the timing of the jumps is just totally off, and it's hard for me to play those games.
Yeah, it's literally because they rounded his hitbox for the remake when they didn't change the geometry to reflect that.
Well, that's
the Crash racing game that I remember, you could fuse cars with other racers, and you could either become the driver or the gunner. And I would always hit the gunner position because I could just get everybody down, and the pairing would be in first place. And then right at the end, you could defuse and get a boost off of that and hit first place.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like they're trying to ape off a double dash, I think.
Yeah, double dash was amazing.
Double Dash was like best Mario Kart, honestly. I want to find it so I can
I've actually never played Double Dash. To this
day,
Did
you know that was one of the worst selling Mario Kart games too? And it's like, how everybody I know loves it.
Yeah,
literally, I can't find a single person who badmouths it.
Yeah.
I honestly like. Here's the thing you got to realize. I really don't think Mario Kart was always popular, but it didn't like become like big until the Wii, I imagine.
True.
Like the Wii and the DS versions really exploded Mario Kart to be like a premier franchise. Like they did well. Like they always did well, but like I think like it didn't really like explode until like the DS, 3DS. Because like those like those are two of them like the most popular Mario Karts even to this day, like Wii and DS.
Yep. It's
Which
weird
because like, Double Dash is so much better.
Yeah, like the courses are better. Like the The whole concept
mechanic
of
is
like,
better.
yeah, you could because you could do all sorts of weird like chemistry experiments where you're like, I wonder how if I had Bowser as the pilot and Peach as the gunner, or vice versa.
Peaches.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it was definitely one of the best Mario Karts that I ever played. That's even including 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario Kart 64 is my personal favorite. Like that's the one that I had a lot of fun with as a kid. So like that's one that I would get like whenever it's like, oh, which Mario Kart are you going back to? I go back to 64. Like that's the one I have the memories of.
Oh, the OG.
Well, I mean, Nick,
let me
like
get
you
that
said
one.
in the intro, you never forget your first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What we got here?
So yeah. And then like I got a Game Boy Color at some point, but yeah. So Nyx, who was your first?
I
had to say
so
it
this
that
is
way.
kind of a weird kind of. I grew up like in a very weird home because I was raised by both well, not grandparents, my grandmother and her then husband, who I refused to give the honor of calling my grandfather.
Oh.
But I will say this about him. He did get me kind of started into my love of video games as far as I can remember. I was very young, and I don't have a lot of memories of my earlier childhood, but I can very vividly remember that my first console was an Nintendo.
Whoop.
Oh, looks like we lost her. So
She goes, my first console was Nintendo.
Looks like the Sega Ninjas have struck again.
Yeah. Curse you, Sega!
Sega! I mean, we all know that Sega does what Nintendo.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I go off for a bit or something?
Yeah.
The Sega Ninjas gotcha.
Yeah, you're like, my first console's Nintendo. Gone.
Oh, shoot. Well,
Get that name out of your mouth!
Well, like I said in chat, I had to go outside, so I was in my hotel lobby at this little like conference area where they serve breakfast. Family came in, and all their kids are just screaming, and it's driving my mic crazy. So I was like, okay, I'll come outside. Their Wi-Fi doesn't extend outside.
Oh,
Nick, how dare you? How dare you go out? How dare you touch grass? How dare you?
I know, absolutely terrible. Well, don't worry, I'm like surrounded by cars, so like I'll probably go back in at some point.
Nick, are you literally touching grass right now? Please tell me you're literally.
No, I'm on pavement.
Are you near grass?
There's like a couple bushes.
But is there grass near you?
Not really.
Ah, dang it! I was gonna have you touch grass live on stream.
But anyways, so I'm on my data right now, surrounded by cars moving about. But I was trying to say, my first console was a Nintendo 64, and my first ever handheld was the original Game Boy with Tetris.
Ooh.
And that's not something I'm making up either. I grew up in a very weird household.
So,
I mean, hey, at least you grew up listening to the great Russian song "Koro" by Yankee.
Yeah, but my aunt had a Super NES.
This should So, Nick, I'm assuming this looks very familiar to you.
Very vaguely. I don't remember a whole lot from my
you said you said you had a Game Boy and you had Tetris. Like this is literally what you would have had.
Yeah. Like I don't remember the look of the cartridge very well though, because it was a long time ago. And I've been trying to find Tetris on my phone now so I can recreate the magic.
Oh,
it's not happening.
Tetris is everywhere. You can like you think Skyrim is bad with releases? Oh,
Tetris on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
My first
Tetris on the
first
potato.
ever. They could. My first ever actually bought consoles, bought strictly for me though, was the Nintendo GameCube, and it came with a copy of Double Dash.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
The first game I ever remember playing, specifically me, was a Xena fighting game.
Oh, the one for the 64 that like is terrible.
For the Nintendo 64, yeah. I couldn't buy it and play it. I could not play it very well, but I liked it.
Nobody.
There we
cares,
go.
So
I have fond memories of it.
Looks familiar,
Joxer
Nick?
the Mighty.
Very vaguely.
Fun fact, Joxer is played by Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother. Also known as Hoffman from Spider-Man.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Dude, Bruce Campbell was in Xena, too.
Wait.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And Iolaus, Iolaus was Bruce Campbell, or I can't remember. Was
No,
Joxer?
Autolycus. Autolycus was Bruce Campbell. He looked like Robin Hood. He had like the green vest and everything.
That's how I got into Xena, actually. Was through that game.
It's so cheesy, but I loved Hercules and Xena when I was younger.
Oh, yeah. I love her theme. I don't think anything gets me hyped for action more than hearing that start up.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And I'm sorry, but like that intro for Xena is just so good.
Have you ever heard the German intro to Xena?
No.
It's one of the funniest things.
Oh my
it goes,
God.
"Du Krieger Princess, don't fuck it them off."
All right. I'm gonna do a live reaction. Like I'm not gonna play it, but like I'm just gonna live react to it. Xena. All right, so I'm gonna play it. I'm just gonna do a live reaction. I'm gonna listen to it real quick and give you a live reaction for you. All right.
Sehr gut.
I'm looking for the German one. It's not really saying it's German, so it's like.
Nein, bitte.
Schnell, mach schnell, schnell.
Yeah, ich kann es Zeit haben.
All right, my Lieben. I'm sorry, that's the only one. That's the only Guten Tag, and my Wolfenstein is coming up.
Achtung.
Dang it, I got the classic one, but like.
Achtung.
Yeah, I'm looking for looking for the regular ones. I can't see the German version. Oh my God.
Feuer frei.
All right. Screw it.
Stop. Does the name copyright infringement mean anything to you?
I just did the first 10 seconds. I'm probably gonna get dinged for it, but like, oh my God. Like
that's my ringtone.
God, man.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Like everyone's like, "Oh, it's so cheesy." It's like, yes, but it was the gateway drug into other fantasy.
It's cheesy. Like it's like whenever it's like, "Oh man, why do you like that? It's so cheesy." Like, yeah, and what's your point? Like, yeah,
everybody loves
I like
cheese.
the cheese.
Yep,
I love cheese. Like literally, I have a 2-pound bag of shredded cheese in my refrigerator right now.
Gouda is good.
I like cheese. By the way, that's gonna be so clipped to hell. Like I imagine people are gonna do that.
Me gusta la queso.
I mean, hey, at this point, you might as well call yourself Sheo Gorath.
Huh. But yeah, since then I've basically just I've been a Nintendo girl basically all the way. I had the GameCube, and then I got the I never got the Wii actually, or the Wii U, but I ended up getting an Xbox 360 and then an Xbox One, so I can't say that. But I've always had like the handheld. My brother gave me his Game Boy Color long after, and then I got I actually got the Game Boy Advance SP before he ever hated that thing.
The one game console
guys,
will never die.
Guys, this is gonna be something that I clip for Jared. Jared, you want to know why I don't have an Xbox?
Because it fucking sucks.
It wasn't that bad. Not great.
I'm sorry, but like,
Nintendo.
I just wanted to put some AVGN in here because we're talking about like old games. Like there had to be some AVGN.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the Game Boy SP is kind of like the Nokia of gaming handheld. You could
sadly mine lost its life to a bathroom sink.
Okay. All right. So
My younger cousin. Okay, so my
All right,
aunt and
guys.
uncle moved out.
Wait. I need like so this thing has been kind of sitting in here for like a couple of months.
Oh, nostalgia.
Oh,
Yeah.
No. The fact that like it like literally it's been sitting in like in that case for like this thing hasn't been turned on in probably 4 to 6 months. Still green.
Yep. That's
Like
why
you're talking about
Nintendo
this
won the
being a tank.
handhelds.
Like you're talking about this being a freaking tank.
Yeah, dude. That's why Nintendo won the handheld wars because
Yeah.
like I mean, people were like giving them crap for not having a backlight on the first GBAs and like all this stuff, and it's like, dude, if you could do what Sega did with the Game Gear, which was vastly superior to the Game Boy at the time, with full color screen, backlit, and all that stuff, and it lasted 15 seconds.
So Mercenary says, "Hey guys, saw the Archcast last night and tonight as well. Bad news of Starfield. Total bland crin. A whole like, all right, I'm sorry. I gotta go full Razor Fist. Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't too hyped for it.
I was saying this like from day fucking one. I'm sorry, sweet validation. Thank you, Mercenary. Like, yeah,
No Man's Sky ripoff. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, this is another Todd Howard game. What did we expect?
Yep.
Well, that too, and it's like if you just look at it, it looks bland, dull, lifeless. The shooting looks like okay at best.
Looks rigid, very stiff.
Yeah,
Okay at best.
Like literally, I was like looking at clips. I was seeing Skyrim animations. Like if you look at like the swimming when he jumps and he goes like this, that is a fucking Skyrim animation. A game from 2013. Like literally 10. Like,
dude,
sorry,
they always had bad animation. Like every Bethesda game, it's like I don't know who the animator was, but I remember back in the day when Oblivion came out, and my roommate was playing it on the TV, and he goes, "Look at the way the wolves walk sideways," and like there was a wolf strafing. We were just laughing at how bad the animation was.
I mean, that's always
Mercenary,
been
have you tried No
Skyrim,
Man's
especially
Sky?
once it switched hands. Actually, no, it's always been Bethesda. But either way, once it went to 3D, the Elder Scrolls was never the same. It was always a buggy, janky mess. But it was always our buggy, janky mess because we would fix it and we would laugh at it.
Mercenary, have you played No Man's Sky? No Man's Sky is a game where I love No Man's Sky, and like the new update is great. I'm doing the expeditions. No Man's Sky is a game where it's like it's not trying to pretend to be anything it's not. Like it is what it is. Like you think like, oh, it's boring. It's like, oh, the planets are lifeless. Like it's a very sandbox game. You kind of just make your own fun, do your own thing. But like if you can get into the loop, it is a great game. Like I love No Man's Sky. Like it's just just looking at the game, it's colorful. The design of it, like the game is just so beautiful. Like sometimes you just get on a planet and you're like, holy shit, you know. I mean, hell, I was playing it last night and like I landed on a planet and like there's a fucking rainbow, you know, like.
Nice.
It's just so good. Oh, Sonic Advance. Oh my god, that's a series that like doesn't get enough love.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that collection. So I like New Vegas, but that's because Obsidian made it. And Fallout 4, Fallout 4 is fine, but you gotta play it like you don't play it like a Fallout game. You basically just play it like a first-person shooter open world game. Like you gotta just play it. If you engage the game on its own terms and don't think of it as a Fallout game, it's not bad. Like it's enjoyable.
Great, not bad.
Yeah, but it's not a Fallout game. It is in no way a Fallout game. The story itself is a joke. Like basically the problem I had.
I hate it.
Like I was really into the story, but as soon as you get to the Institute, the story literally falls apart. Because
legit.
There's this whole line of like trying to find my son, finding some Institute, and then the rest of the game is just the fact. And it's just like it's like, okay, what do I do now? What you're supposed to do is until you get to an ending. I don't.
Can I just take a little rant here? because like this is something that's been bothering me since I first played Fallout 4.
Yeah, go for it.
So the whole point of like you get to Kellogg, you kill him, you figure out like, oh, well, he was actually kind of, he wasn't that bad of a guy. He just chose a bad life. Blah 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 blah. Fine, it's the most cliched thing in the book, but fine. That's fine. Okay, it was an interesting little ride into his memories. Not great, but it was mildly interesting. Gets annoying when you do it so many times, but the first time is kind of nice. Again, not great. Then you get and you meet your son, and he's an old man. And there's barely anything about it that makes you go, oh yeah, this is totally worth it. He vaguely is like, oh, well, I released you because I want to see if you'd come and find me, and you did. And then you talk about how you killed Kellogg, he's like, yeah, I'm glad he's dead, blah 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 blah. But then he's a terrible person, he deserves to die. But then he goes on to sing the Institute's praises. And you know what? To an extent, I get it. He's been brainwashed, basically since he's been a baby, to like them. But Kellogg was acting under the Institute's orders to kidnap him. His father is dead. He's like, yeah, that sucks, but whatever. It had to be done.
Oh,
Yeah,
it had to be done.
That's true.
What did Kellogg do to Sean personally that was so bad that he spit on his grave like that? But not the Institute, who literally took him from his parents, shot his father, and then basically raised him in this sterile environment.
See, yeah, the problem with the Kellogg, the whole Kellogg sequence is it is literally it's literally like a Disney dark ride. It's literally just a straight line, and you're going from scene to scene. There is no gameplay. It's like 20 minutes where you just have, yeah, the Kellogg fight was interesting, yeah, and the Kellogg gun is really good. I don't mind that stuff.
The very minor sequence at the end with Nick, where Kellogg kind of briefly takes over for literally just a second, is way more interesting to me than the entirety of going through.
And they never follow up on it. They never
follow up. No, nothing happens of it.
Like that could have been a cool side plot for the rest of the game. Like imagine
it could have.
Like imagine you're gonna blow up the Institute, and Nick, the Kellogg actually takes over, and you have to make a choice. Like maybe you can save Nick, but you might have to destroy him as well, or some that could have been some cool gameplay.
Honestly, I'm of two minds of it, because I really do think it could have been followed up in a really cool way. And on the other hand, I kind of like that they just left it this one what the fuck moment. Never touched it again, because I know Bethesda would never have been able to write something compelling.
I mean, honestly, a lot of the Fallout writing, at least the writing quality in Fallout, usually goes to the side quests anyway. Those are always a whole hell of a lot more interesting than the main quest.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
wide mile.
Here's the thing. The worst Witcher side quest, the worst Witcher writing is still infinitely better than the best thing Todd can shit out. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the thing about Witcher 3. Witcher 3 raised the bar when it came to RPG game writing. I mean, sure, Witcher 3 had the benefit of it being a character, you're playing as Geralt. So whereas Bethesda, they seem oh, we got to let them create their own character. But look at what Obsidian did with New Vegas. New Vegas literally had all the same tools Bethesda did, but because they had such a great quality of writing and game design, they were created the whole the character was a lot more compelling than anything else.
The funny thing though is that Nora and Nate, the two-player character genders you can choose between, have backstories that never really come into play outside of Nate is he's a soldier and he's going to speak at a veterans hall, and it gets mentioned once. Nora's a lawyer, and you'd think she'd have some kind of special dialogue or something. You think either of them would have some kind of special dialogue pertaining to their former occupations before the bomb fell.
Basically, if I was
but
Todd,
they're just blank slates.
Well, here's what I would do if I was Todd. I would give basically each gender different buffs. Like Nora would have a buff to like her speech and her charisma, and Nate would have a buff to like his strength and his guns. You know,
Yeah, that would have
because-
worked really well.
like that would have encouraged multiple playthroughs. See, and now here's the other thing. Like I think the New Vegas Fallout 4 comparisons are actually a lot like really prompt because if you look at New Vegas, it has the same story structure as Fallout 4. Like you have the Miss MacGuffin, you're trying to reach New Vegas, you're trying to save your son, and then once you get to the MacGuffin, literally the rest of the game it's just factions. But here's the difference.
Factions.
But like the thing is in New Vegas, when you actually reach it, like the game does a better job of guiding you. Like it literally tells you, "Hey, meet with these people. Let's do this thing." Because like even though New Vegas, like the thing is New
Go
Vegas,
the route you want to be.
the ultimate end game is the Hoover Dam. Like you're basically the whole game leads to the end of the Hoover Dam, and so like even though you did the primary thing, like the secondary thing is they still overhanging you, and like New Vegas does such a better job of communicating to the player, like, okay, do this or that, whatever. But like, if you really look at it down, New Vegas, from like a story perspective, are the same game.
And here's where I want to praise Fallout 3 for doing too, because it's basically sort of the same story as Fallout 4, but in reverse. You're playing the child looking for the parent, but at least for me, the game really did a good job of attaching you to your father. And
Well, they
kind
had
of getting
Liam
you
Neeson.
more.
They had him.
That too. That helps too.
Having Liam Neeson be literally the first thing you hear when you play the game, you know.
It helps.
Well,
but
one
they
of the
do a
things
great
I'd like
job.
to Yeah, and one other thing I would love to kind of punctuate is the best way I've found to play basically any Bethesda game is the way Russian Badger does. Lord Murder of Death Mountain.
I will say one good thing about Fallout 4 though, and this is kind of what Mercury said. The companions of Fallout 4 are actually really good, really interesting, and the way you interact with them, like that's one thing I will actually like the whole companion system. Like you can tell them to get out of the power armor. It's a lot easier to direct them around. They're a lot more useful. Like you actually care. Like I would say Fallout 4 companions are slightly better than New Vegas companions. Like from a character perspective, they're maybe about even, but from a gameplay perspective, Fallout 4 companions are better.
I like Preston Garvey, and I know I'm kind of like this is I feel like this is gonna be a hot take. Preston Garvey's not a bad character. I love him. I think he's great. He's a force for good in a lawless wasteland. The only problem.
Did you know that another settlement needs your help?
That's the only problem I have with him. And that's because I don't think really Bethesda had any kind of plans for the Minutemen. They kind of threw them in last minute, is what my feeling is. And then
there's a lot of that with Fallout 4.
Yeah, but Preston Garvey on his own, without that whole bullshit, is a very compelling character, at least to me.
Nick
as
Valentine, like my favorites are Nick and Piper.
Love Nick.
Like, Nick is such an interesting character. I love him so much.
Piper kind of annoys me at times because I can kind of see the good and bad in her. Like I like her; she's a compelling character, and I like her little sister and her whole thing with that. But at the same time, I can kind of see the negatives in what she's trying to accomplish.
I mean, for me, Preston Garvey always just seemed rather one note because you basically do the first quest with him and you get to see a little bit of character, and then the rest is, and Nick, if you'll take it away.
Another settlement needs your help.
Exactly. And
I hate to
that's all I ever heard from Preston. Ever. It's like, oh, come on, man, please.
Oh, the shadow. Oh my god. Sorry. So, I hate to cut you guys off. This is a really great conversation. We'll probably go for like another hour just talking about that. I wish we could.
Yeah, probably.
But, another YouTube channel needs my help. I got to do some stuff with Jared. Sorry. Perfect. So, thank you everyone for coming by. And all the guests. let's just like, all right. So, Mercenary, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. And this has been Nick from the Phoenix Press. And remember, I can only show you the door. You're the one to walk through it.